Oh. Haha. Mjolnir. Okay, we got the bottom valve stem here. On the inner, we got the outer tires valve stem up top here. I did a quick buff and paint, the old Tremclad rebuild on this spacer ring. Hi, my name's Paul and this is PJT Ventures. Join me while I ramble on like an empty dump truck. Today we are working on Dayton rims. I don't like Dayton rims. At least I don't like Dayton rims that have been on for 20 years. Anyways, we were successful. I'll give you a couple of pointers as to what I found worked good. So here's a couple of things that I used. Of course, there's the impact, but without a porta power to actually push against the rim to slide the rim off of these spokes, I don't think they would come off. I've done a couple in the past that have been on for 20 or 25 years, and the amount of rust that gets in between here, and rust jacks itself on there, is incredible. And so this little guy, I would put some spacers and push it between the two rims. I mean, I had to be careful not to damage the rims, but if I put that in between the two steel rims with some spacers and loaded it up with a bit of pressure, and then tapped on the other side of the rim with this brass sledgehammer, it seemed to not mar the rims too bad, but also shock loaded enough that it would pop loose eventually. Another thing that I found worked really good was this little fella. Now this is just a regular kind of, I don't even know what it's called, some kind of carpentry tool. I don't know. Anyways, it has this little vibrating blade on there, and it doesn't matter. I mean, it has a metal blade on here, but yeah, it says it says soft metal. Anyways, it works really good at knocking off the rust and almost chiseling that rust off of those spokes and out of this crack here. So I was able to get a lot of that rust out of that crack before I even started trying to, pull these rims off, get it out of here. And then once I got the spacer ring out, then I was able to really clean up these spokes again before I tried to get the inner rim off. And yeah, this little fella, I mean, it almost works better than a wire wheel, and you're not constantly being bombarded by the little bits of wire, and it's not trying to suck up your coveralls, and it actually produces a little bit less dust. And it's really just the edges that I was using. It's not this end, but just this edge, that whacking motion. It works great. So that's kind of a new addition to the tools to help with rust management. Also, I used this big, I just happen to have a, this is a pneumatic jackhammer drill, and it has a square shank for actually, like, I think hard rock mining back in the day. This is, looks like an Ingersoll Rand. I got it from an antique store in the mountains. But this way you can really concentrate some extremely heavy pounding without kind of damaging anything. I radius this nice and smooth, and I could really focus here and focus on the rim here without really damaging the rim, and try to shock load or to shock and vibrate this joint so that it would break loose. Anyways, we got them on. I put a new rim. I happen to have a new rim, so we put a new rim on the outside, painted this. Now we'll install all of these little wedges or whatever they are, and then we'll line it up. Right now it's, I'll have to jack it up just a whisker more, but we'll get it all squared up on the hub, and we'll get it tightened up, and then we'll be off to the races. Anyways, thanks again for joining me. I hope you look forward to watching this video about battling Daytons, and hope it can help you when you're battling your Daytons off. Anyways, thanks again for joining me. Bye for now. Well, now that we're all buttoned up, I almost forgot. There is a major safety concern. These little wedge things can fly off if you take the nut off. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to loosen this nut, then give this a tap with a hammer. This wedge will then separate or pop out of this wedge right there, but it won't be able to fly off and actually hurt you. So of course, everybody has a tendency when they have the impact gun in their hands to just spin these all the way off, just like a regular set of nuts or regular set of, on regular studded tires. But you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that this stays on at least until these are all popped loose. Now, mine was so rusted on here that nothing was moving, but it's always good practice. Now, if I was to have a flat tire and take this off, this is all now nice clean surfaces with paint, and so there is a potential for these things to fire off at you. So just keep that in mind. Don't take these all the way off until these are all broken loose, and until maybe even you get the rim to break loose, now that it's clean and loose.